Imagine a world where one moment, one decision, could change someone's life. This is the story of how a chance encounter between a millionaire and a poor boy selling candies on the street turned into a journey that no one could have predicted. On a warm afternoon, Mr. Carter, a self-made millionaire, was driving home from his office, deep in thought about his latest business deal. As he stopped at a red light, something caught his eye. A small boy, barely 10 years old, standing on the side of the road, selling candies. This wasn't what struck Mr. Carter the most, though. It was the boy's eyes, full of determination, yet hiding a sadness that only those who've faced hardship can understand. Mr. Carter rolled down his window, unable to shake the feeling that this child had a story. "Hey, kid," Mr. Carter called out. "What's your name?" The boy, startled at first, walked over cautiously. "My name is Danny, sir." "Why are you out here selling candies? Shouldn't you be in school?" Mr. Carter asked. Danny looked down, his small hands gripping the basket of candies tightly. "I want to go to school, sir, but I can't. My father passed away, and my mom is very sick. We don't have enough money. I sell these candies to buy her medicine and food." Mr. Carter's heart was breaking. In that moment, he saw his younger self in Danny, a child who wanted more from life but was trapped by circumstances. The difference was that Mr. Carter had been lucky enough to get a break. Now, he had the power to give him one. "Do you want to go to school, Danny?" Mr. Carter asked, his voice gentle. Danny's eyes lit up. "Yes, sir. More than anything. I want to learn, to make something of myself so I can take care of my mom." Mr. Carter leaned back in his seat, thinking for a moment. He couldn't let this opportunity slip by. "Well, Danny, how about I help you? I'll take care of your school fees, and you can focus on your studies. I'll pay for everything. Your books, your uniform, all of it." Danny's eyes were filled with tears. He couldn't believe what he had heard. "Really, sir? You would do that for me?" Mr. Carter smiled. "I see something special about you, Danny. You remind me of myself, and I believe you deserve a chance." True to his word, Mr. Carter enrolled Danny in a good school. For the first time in his life, Danny stepped into a classroom, his heart full of excitement and hope. He studied harder than anyone, determined to make the most of this incredible opportunity. As the years passed, Danny excelled in his studies. His teachers were amazed by his dedication. Every time Mr. Carter saw Danny, he felt proud of the young man he was becoming. But Danny's journey was far from over. After high school, Danny was accepted into one of the most prestigious universities in the world, Harvard. Mr. Carter continued to support him, paying for his tuition and living expenses. Danny thrived at Harvard, studying economics and business, always remembering the man who had given him the chance to succeed. Years later, Danny stood on the stage at his Harvard graduation, dressed in his cap and gown, looking out into the crowd. There, in the front row, sat Mr. Carter, his eyes filled with pride. Danny had done it. He had gone from selling candies on the street to graduating from one of the best universities in the world. After the ceremony, Danny walked over to Mr. Carter, his heart full of gratitude. "Mr. Carter, I can never thank you enough for what you've done for me. You changed my life." Mr. Carter shook his head. "No, Danny. You have changed your own life. I just gave you the opportunity. What you did with it, that's what makes you extraordinary." But Danny wasn't finished yet. He had one more surprise for Mr. Carter. "I've been thinking about it, sir. I want to give back, just like you did for me. I want to start a foundation to help other kids like me, kids who dream big, but don't have the means. I want to make sure no one gets left behind because of money." And so, Danny and Mr. Carter started the Dream Foundation, an organization dedicated to providing education for underprivileged children. What began as a small act of kindness turned into a movement that helped thousands of kids all over the world, giving them the chance to break free from poverty and achieve their dreams. Danny's journey from the streets to Harvard wasn't just about his success. It was about the power of one moment, one decision, and one person who chose to make a difference. Because sometimes all it takes is for someone to believe in you. And that belief can change the world. Mr. Carter's eyes were filled with tears. Danny, that's a brilliant idea. I'll help you. Together, we'll make sure your story inspires others and changes lives. In the end, Danny didn't just graduate from Harvard. He created a ripple effect of hope and opportunity. One act of kindness can truly transform a life, and that life can go on to transform many more.